I see them on Facebook.
No,
Russell,
just
if you,
show.
technically, I mean, you can call the meeting to order, but we do not have a quorum, so we can just kind of go through what we were originally going to talk about, but no motions can be made.
Okay, let's see, how many people do we actually have here? 4? Ben, myself, is that-
Fine.
5, including Ben.
oh, hi. I'm Russell Fox. I'm sure we've introduced ourselves, but not remembering your name. Sorry.
Dylan Thiessen.
Hi, Dylan. Welcome. Okay, so we're gonna have a Sustainability Integration Board meeting. It can't be official because we don't have a quorum, but we can still talk about stuff. So that's what we're gonna do. And I'm the vice chair, so I get to say things like this. And now I'm gonna pass it over to Lizeth and Ethan to guide us through what we got going on.
Okay, we have quite a few updates for you guys. So as far as board membership goes, we did have a District 6 seat that was filled, but the person never showed up for 3 meetings. So officially, according to ordinance, they were taken off the board. They were given a chance to appeal this. They did not. So Maggie Ballard is on the lookout for someone else for District 6. As a reminder, we have a D2 appointment seat available too. So if you know anyone, have them apply. And then those will get sent to the council members. Just as a reminder, that's Ballard and Tuttle's district.
Right.
And then I know Jessica's not here, so I will email her this information. But as you guys know, DICRAB was kind of like suspended as a board, so they're not currently meeting, but officially,
What
they are
was suspended as a board?
the Diversity Inclusion Civil
Oh,
Rights
yeah,
Advisory
yeah.
Board. Sorry, I call it
I know, that's
DICRAB.
horrible.
It's
That's horrible.
DICRAB, because that's the acronym. Yeah. So, officially, Jessica is still a member of SIB. She's still representative according to law. She's still fully allowed to participate as a SIB member.
Does she know that though?
I'm going to email her just to make
Yeah,
sure.
That may be why she's not here.
Yeah, and I anticipated that might have been the issue last month as well, because she was absent last month again. So I will send her an email, but just an FYI to you guys. We do have a city council date of this Tuesday for the E-ramp, which if you remember, that is that planning grant with KDHE for $200,000. So that will be going to council. Thank you to Russell, who met with us today to go through the presentation. He will be speaking on behalf of SIB. But if you guys are available and able to go to that 9 a.m. meeting, it is going to be on new business. So I'm not exactly sure what time the item will come up. But if you'd like to go and speak in support of it, that would be great.
So it could be more like 10:30, 11.
It could be, unfortunately.
Because I've
yeah.
got something else that's a conflict that in the morning, but I might try to
I
come
would
out.
say, yeah, lately Public Works has been towards the back end of new business, so
Okay.
more likely,
I
yeah.
took the whole day off. I canceled my class. And so.
Yeah.
You invited your students.
What's that?
You invited your students.
I did not think to do that. And actually, I should have done that because I actually do have an assignment in the class that they could use to that they could use attendance at the city council to fulfill that assignment. So I mean, I'm gonna talk to them about it in class tomorrow.
We do have James.
James
So we have
is here.
quorum
Oh, we
now.
have a quorum now? Hi, James.
Hey everybody, I got a new phone, so I had to re-download all the things. My apologies for being late.
No worries. Okay, so yeah, so that council date is on Tuesday. We don't have the agenda out yet, so we're not sure where on the agenda we are, but I do anticipate it's gonna be some
Usually
time
it is.
after 9. So yeah, again, if you have the ability to come and support and speak for public comment, that would be wonderful. If not, Russell, I'm sure is gonna do a great job of representing SIB. Additionally, at the August 19th meeting, the ordinance that we had talked to you guys about, which was the every other day watering, did get passed by council, and it was approved at second reading just at this last meeting. So it will be published in ordinance on the 29th, so on Friday, if I remember correctly.
So what are is it odd or even, or what
Yes.
days is
We
it?
got you right here.
So, addresses ending in odd numbers will water on Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. This is a change from what we originally presented you guys.
Yeah,
And even numbers will water on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and there will be no watering on Mondays.
so Mondays will be the days that the city will do all their stuff.
What do you mean?
I mean, like the city's got like,
We'll follow the
when
same
they have to do,
ordinance.
well, but don't you have to do things like backflow and flushing out the hydrants and things like that?
Yeah, we could.
Yeah, but that regular maintenance will still continue, but when it comes to lawn, this is specifically referring to outdoor watering, so this
Yeah.
is it only restricts outdoor watering, so when it comes to this, city will follow the same ordinance as everybody else.
When does this start?
September 15th.
Okay.
So I know when it was originally no watering on Sundays, that was even for like gardens, things like anything outside. So is it the same now on Mondays, just like no outdoor?
So yeah, Monday is no outdoor watering, but you can still hand water. So this is not, this only restricts irrigation sprinkler systems.
Okay.
So if you're out there hand watering, as long as it's not from that 10 to 6 point, you can do it whenever you'd like. So
Water
even
every
if it's
day.
not officially your day.
Hand
but-
water?
Yeah, so
Not
gardens
10 to
will be safe even on Mondays. But yeah, so just really trying to hone in that this will only apply to sprinkler and irrigation systems. And yes, great question. It will go into effect September 15th. We're planning an informational meeting, so we'll get that information to you guys soon about, if anyone has any more questions or anything. We're hoping to get the website set up with all this information here soon. So I'll share that with you guys whenever it's available. There will be variances available for people who are putting in new lawns that they'll be able to apply for an exception for a certain amount of days. I will most likely be the one processing those applications. So if you have anyone who has any questions, feel free to send them my way.
Speaking of water, I just thought of something that I meant to ask Gary. Do you guys know when is the water processing plant? What's the new date now for when it will actually go online?
Our goal is the end of the year.
Okay, so they're able to do the testing.
We're proceeding with the
It
testing.
is happening right now. So the goal is by 2026.
That we'd have it, yeah, fully operational. We're in charge of it.
Okay.
We run all the water.
I did not know if it was, delayed until like next spring or something like that. So I'm glad to hear that.
Oh, and just a reminder, until September 15th, we are still on stage 2 drought restrictions, so only once a week watering. We do have open streets coming up at the end of September. I wanted to talk to SIB about whether or not they would like a table there. We're about to sign up to table at the event like we do every year about sustainability stuff, and we got some educational materials that we'll be able to showcase as well. But I didn't know if SIB would like to have a representative there, so we can ask for 2 tables instead of 1 to talk about SIB, or if you would not like to do that, up to you guys. But this
How
would
did that go last year? Did you get enough people that wanted to do it? I mean, I know I
to
did it.
volunteer.
I did it.
I think there
for a
were
few hours.
1 hour or 2 that we weren't covered. So up to you guys if you just want to do it for 2 hours, like maybe the main 2 hours that people are there. Really up to you guys, but yeah, if you're interested in volunteering and being at that SID table, please send me an email so we can see if we can get you guys a table.
Are you gonna be over by East High again?
I'm sorry?
Are you gonna be over by East High again?
Probably, that's where we've been the last couple of years. We also went to the Nomar one too, and we were by 21st and, no, yeah, 21st and, I don't know, that's Arkansas, I think. No, that's too far.
Oh, wow.
Do we get quite a few people that stop by the table?
Yeah, usually we do. In the past couple times we've been talking about drought, so people usually come by and they stop,
Yeah.
whether it be to complain or ask us questions,
Yeah.
but we usually do get a good amount of people that stop by the table.
More people come if there's freebies.
These, well, we
And the ducks were very
got some
popular.
materials.
That's not what I mean.
Yeah, they want something.
Something you can give to the kids or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just wanted to make you guys aware, so I'll send out an email reminder with that, but like I said, if you would like to volunteer to run a SID table, we can definitely make sure you guys have a table available next to ours as well.
But there's not enough time to do like the compost wheels and stuff before then, is there?
We will talk about that, but yes, we think there will be.
Okay,
Yeah,
That'd
so
be
I
good
might
to
have
have
more
out there.
things that we could be
That'd
giving
be-
away.
yeah, that'd be excellent.
And then we do have a few other upcoming events.
Yeah, partnering with a couple of the library branches, Westlink and the Maya Angelou branch, to host several varying topics, starting out with some water conservation on September 18th. At Westlink, on Saturday, October 4th, we're gonna work with Extra Sedgwick County and do kind of a come and go stop to learn about household waste disposal 101. Since the county takes care of a lot of that, we'll have some.
Household waste,
Mhm.
like,
So if you've got any like hazardous substances, cleaning supplies, it'll
Okay,
also
so-
cover like recycling.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're gonna cover any kind of waste you might have.
Okay.
Hopefully be able to direct you to the right place. Then an event on also about waste reduction, but generally more Wichita sustainability, all the different areas you can get involved in, and different things the city's been working on, and different things the sustainability board's been working on. And then one on energy savings, heading into the colder months, ways you can save money, remaining rebates and tax credits that might be still available. It looks like the state is still going to get money for hosting a few different rebate programs for different um, energy efficiency improvements. That program looks like it's going to continue. Other states have already resumed. Kansas had not actually received it yet, but they're on kind of the same boat as a lot of other states that had finished up their applications, but when the pause in funding kind of took place, it slowed it down by several months. But it seems like, and the general sentiment is that that money's going to be available at some point before the end of the year. And at that point, I may also have conservation or weatherization kits available to give out to attendees at that event.
That'd be good.
And I should have some composting materials available for the two middle events in October 4th and October 10th. I've got some indoor and some outdoor options they'll be able to give away.
Oh, nice.
And then this flyer will go out to like the libraries, neighborhood resource centers, so we'll start pushing it.
Yeah,
Um,
and these are advertised in the Evolve guide already. So because I've been working with libraries on this for a while.
Good. And so we do, okay, so you said the kids.
Mhm.
Are we still looking for somebody to help with that grant money? To
Yes,
produce those?
so we did open an RFP, and it closed, and we did not have any applicants. So we're looking at other routes to still be able to do home weatherization.
Okay.
But as of right now, it's up in the air as to whether we'll be able to do that project, or if the project scope will have to be changed, through DOE, and then have to get approval from city council as well to
Yeah.
do a big
So
change.
you got
But
no
yes.
applicants?
Yes, that
Yeah.
is correct. We did not get any applicants for that RFP.
Oh, gosh, I wish, yeah. I didn't have, I would have put it, we would have put an application here at the Urban League, because Urban Leagues across the country handle home weatherization for their communities, but I just didn't have the time to get it done.
Yeah, so unfortunately, yeah, we couldn't find a partner for that, so we're looking at other avenues for us to still be able to do home weatherization. But that is still kind of pending right
Oh,
now.
maybe we can find a way to partner.
Yeah, maybe for
Yeah.
sure. So yeah, if you want to send me any information about that, Cindy, that would be great. And then we can maybe reach out, because we would like to still use this funding for home weatherization to really.
Okay, yeah, I'll certainly do that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any-
Sad.
Yeah, and then I figured in the same flyer I'd advertise the next two SID meetings, because November, December, we'll see if there are meetings held at those times, but I know that we'll have September, October meetings, so
Mhm.
highlighting all the fall events you can take part in.
So as a reminder, because that did come up, so you guys voted to not have a December meeting, which I think was similar to last year, I can't remember.
Yeah.
No December meeting, and you decided to hold off as well on the November meeting, but the rent room is still available in case something does come up and you'd like to discuss, or if there's items to be discussed on the agenda.
Yeah.
And the library will be open the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, so.
Yes, I believe I did it 2 Wednesdays before Thanksgiving. though.
Okay, all right.
Okay, moving on to board updates. Then I always start with you because you're closest to me.
So I couldn't attend the last tab meeting.
Your chair, the chair was missing?
Yeah, it was just all weird. But yeah, we have officer elections next time, and so it's highly encouraged that we attend in person. So we will be.
Okay, no worries. Russell, did you have any update from Bike Ped?
Well, it was a very busy bike ped meeting. I'm not sure how much of it would be of interest to the SIB, we spent well over an hour arguing about the new design for the First Street Bridge and the flow of bike traffic through that, you know, like ramps, separate bike and pedestrian paths, you know, what kind of barrier between the vehicle traffic. I mean, they're gonna drop to vehicle, the idea is that they're gonna drop to vehicle traffic with just a single lane westbound, two lanes eastbound, and on the north side of the bridge, the westbound side of the bridge, they're going to, you know, expand the you know, pedestrian and bicycling capacities there, because, you know, this is in theory going to be the bridge to the network of trails that are on the east side of the river and that eventually hook up through the Red Bud all the way out to Augusta, and the network of trails on the west side that in theory will eventually be able to connect with the Prairie Sunset Trail. So we ended up just getting ridiculously nerdy and you know, probably unnecessarily heated, talking about like how many, you know, bicyclists will actually want to stay in a path that's, you know, 8 foot versus 6 foot, and should we have shared paths? And anyway, First Street Bridge is going to be rebuilt maybe someday. It's not like they even have the money approved, you know, to do this.
So this is,
But before they can even ask for the money, they have to do the design
Yeah.
work so that they can, you know, say,
this is the bridge over the river? Is
yeah,
that what we're
right by
talking
right by this library.
It's kind of falls apart.
This
Yeah.
bridge,
Yeah.
right, which way am I, or are you facing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Take a closer look next
Okay,
time you go over it.
But,
It's
okay,
in pretty bad shape.
but, well.
It's in bad shape,
Yeah.
and the theory is it's gonna get a lot of bicycle traffic, or it will get increasing amounts of bicycle and pedestrian traffic as time goes by. You know, and there were a lot of arguments about, you know, how to think about that, how important it is for, you know, are we prioritizing, you know, safety for cyclists, safety for pedestrians? Are we, you know, recognizing, you know, the potential bottlenecks for traffic? We were looking at, you know, traffic counts and all sorts of stuff like that.
Dion Leffler wasn't there, was he?
He was not there.
Okay.
He was not there. It was a long meeting.
All right.
He has his own opinions about.
Cindy,
First
did
He
you have
does indeed.
anything from the planning board, planning commission?
Did you ask me if I had anything from the planning commission?
Yes, I did.
No, I do not have anything from the planning commission. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Chair updates, do you have any updates you'd like to share, Russell? I guess since you're acting as
Nope.
chair. Okay. Approval of July minutes. So there was one typo that Lori sent me, so I will get that updated. Doesn't change any of the content, but I appreciate that. So I will get that changed. Other than that, were there any changes or edits to the minutes?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Was I supposed to call for that?
Yeah.
It's fine.
All those opposed? Okay. Thank you. Okay, for the first discussion items, we have microgrants criteria, so just kind of going over what we talked about last month. So if you remember last month, you voted to approve the $10,000 towards sustainable micro grants. And it was decided that SIB would set the scope of eligible projects in priority categories. And then this is kind of what we want to focus on this first part here, the eligible projects and priority categories of, you know, examples of what eligible projects are, really thinking through what the criteria is going to be, who is going to be allowed to apply. And then what kind of what a rubric might look like. So that's kind of where this discussion is meant to be. So I'll let you guys discuss that.
Well, and I don't know if we can decide what kind of projects might be eligible, because we might not think of everything.
Yeah, we are just looking for some examples to when we're advertising to people or when they click on, like, oh, what is this about? Just some examples. It's not meant to be exclusionary when we're talking about that specifically. That's kind of one of the issues we touched on regarding the criteria and the rubric is how to score things without leaving anything out just because sustainability is so broad.
Yeah, it could be literally anything.
Well, I mean, I suppose we should be thinking in terms of, who's likely to apply for a micro
And
grant.
what do you want? to
And
fund?
that would be,
Right.
school classrooms,
Community garden.
churches,
Yeah.
neighborhoods, community gardens.
HOAs, neighborhood associations.
So, I mean, so what are some examples of things? I mean, rain barrels,
Yeah,
But that's a different category of thing.
No, but
Is
that
that
would,
we have a rebate already on ring
we do, but that doesn't mean that, somebody could, ask for, $400.
Oh, I don't know
You
if
know.
I said this actually while you were running with rainbows. The water rebate is actually closed. We ran out of money.
Oh.
So just an FYI.
Well, there you go.
Sorry.
Everyone's like, it's raining.
Somebody
Yeah,
wants,
that's nice,
somebody wants
though.
somebody wants to buy, 8 rain barrels, so, then they're gonna ask for $400 or something like that, or the rain barrels now are probably over 100 a piece, but anyway, that's the kind of thing. Okay, so what are other examples of, micro grants?
Say somebody wants to put one of those bike pumping stations and fix-it kits in their neighborhood park.
Yeah, that's good.
What about planting trees?
Yep, planting
Okay.
trees.
Any trees? Thinking parks again, putting a bench to sit down next
Yeah.
to the playground equipment that already exists. Sometimes it's just playground equipment, no benches.
Pollinator type stuff, wanna,
Pollinator
plant
garden.
flowers, wanna, I don't know,
Yeah,
Some-
fencing
some-
for a pollinator garden.
Some church maybe wants to explore becoming beekeepers,
Mhm.
you know. I mean, there's some examples of small scale grants. I'd be reluctant to suggest, a micro grant that could be used for something that would require a certain amount of study. Because almost certainly what we want to reach out to are people who already know basically what they want to do, and they're looking
Mhm.
for $1,000, they're looking for $500, to be able to do it.
Yeah, more,
And there's a genuine timeline to this too.
Yeah.
That they have to get it and get it spent.
like material, not necessarily like salaries or staffing or
Exactly.
enforcement.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that it's only used on materials.
Materials, not.
I mean, I don't think we
programs
should,
being-
we should explicitly say that, but we have to recognize that, maybe we should have some sort of language in the description to say the effect that, the grants that are most likely to be successful are the grants that are, I don't want to use this term, but, it's one that we'll all recognize, the equivalent of shovel ready.
Mhm.
It's, we gotta buy them, we know what we're gonna do, we just gotta buy the materials and, get going.
James has got something.
Yeah,
Uh,
thank you. So we have a foundation that we give money away on a quarterly basis. And here's some priorities that we outline in our application process. They have to meet within our giving focuses that we've established, and so it's a familiar idea that I brought up before, but it's worth mentioning our focus areas of, I think, food waste and water reduction. So that's that'd be another way to lean into the priorities that the group decided on. Another thing that we emphasize in our foundation gifts it has to be longstanding. And we define longstanding as more than 5 years. So if I'm not quite for sure at the level that we would get, if we could do, you know, and then there's a maximum threshold there. And then obviously what do we get a plaque or do we get a naming rights or something like that? So a few thoughts and examples of maybe best practices on grants for the group to consider.
Yeah, I think those are really helpful. I appreciate that, James. I also went to my favorite brainstorming companion, ChatGPT.
How much power did you use to do that? How much water did you use to do
Yeah.
that? I'm telling you.
It's a lot of resources.
Oh, no, it's not a lot of resources. It's a lot of energy, and a lot of water usage to run that.
Absolutely, data centers, yes. So, these are all like, from like a rubric perspective, these are all just questions that it suggests rating at a 0 to 5 point scale, but I think a couple of these are good questions. I think we said something similar to this, but does the project have a clear measurable benefit to sustainability, which could be water conservation, energy efficiency, biodiversity, carbon reduction, waste reduction, any of the things we've mentioned? Does the project involve or serve the broader community, not just one household? 0 to 5 points. Is the project realistic, given the budget, timeline, and applicant's plan that they have delivered? I think that's a good question. Does the project reach or benefit diverse parts of the community, including underserved groups? And then I think to one of the points James had, will the project last or spark longer term sustainability behaviors beyond the grant? I'm not saying we have to use that, but I thought some of those questions are thought-provoking.
And even that last one made me think of something like putting in a charger in communities where you don't normally see them. Because there's a lot of areas where there aren't any chargers. So that makes people not able to buy EVs. And chargers are not that expensive, and you can also, Evergy has money, and chargers, if you have one, just a single charger, it's not as bad as it sounds. It's
But
not,
for when we're talking about $1,000 grants.
I know, but.
So you would have to have money to
Yeah.
support the
But,
rest.
right, but see, Evergy gives you a whole bunch of money back on them too, like for apartment buildings or something. It could be part of what might go into
Yeah.
paying for something like this, along with other funds. Because that would be used forever in that complex, and that might allow people to go electric instead of using gasoline, and that's ultimately the goal of sustainability.
Or, charge their e-bike, it's something smaller,
Yeah.
more affordable,
Yeah.
who knows? Interesting. Okay.
So does it have to be a community member that would ask for it, or could an apartment manager ask for it? Could an apartment complex owner ask for it?
I mean, I think they
Or something
probably
like that.
could, as long as it was serving city of Wichita residents.
Well, yeah, it'd have to be a
Yeah.
facility within the city, but,
But the apartment owner wouldn't necessarily, I think, have to be a Wichitan.
no, it's the facility.
Yeah,
That would
the
have to be in
facility.
Wichita.
Well, we did say people with a 501(c)(3) weren't exclusive to this. I mean, so I guess anybody.
It could be.
I think all you guys had said was just it couldn't be like used for profit making, so like a business could apply, but it's not, as long as they're not using it to make money off of whatever they're gonna use, whatever the project is what I remember from the conversation last month.
Like James mentioned, his Works Foundation is 5-year time frame. Is that reasonable for like $1,000 investment? Can something that you spend $1,000 on last for 5 years?
Community garden, maybe not. Beekeeping, maybe not. I
No.
think expecting something to last 5 years for some of the things that we're talking about is kind of unrealistic. But I mean, you would hope that it would last more than 1 year.
Could we do 2 years? Is that,
I-
pick something in the middle? I don't know,
Well, things are changing so fast right now that 5 years is,
is a lifetime.
everything will have changed in 5 years.
I think so too.
So
But
I
at the
don't know,
very
5 years
least,
maybe
you know,
longer than
Something
necessary.
sustainable for all of Kansas's weather, because it's primarily probably going to be outdoor projects,
Yeah.
you know, something
But it's
that's,
only gonna get worse.
right, yeah, something that can handle 110 degrees in the summer and -15 in the winter. It's a lot, but yeah.
God. But we don't know. We don't know. People will have all kinds of ideas.
It's true. Well,
You know,
and I
these
think
are
that's
just
why
examples.
for a rubric, I mean, we're just gonna rate it, right? This is just like different pieces of criteria that, you know, something might, for example, if we said like a 2 year, or 5 year longevity,
Mhm.
you know, if we rate an idea, one idea of 4, one idea of 5 for that on the rubric, we can still favor things like a little bit more that are longer term, but it doesn't have to like necessarily
That's a good point.
be black or
Yeah.
white, right? There's
Yeah.
a range
Yeah.
there,
Mhm.
so
That's where we're gonna have to come in
that's our judgment.
and
Yeah.
judge which ones, are, I mean, if we get, and I wouldn't be surprised if we don't get a lot of applications. And we'd have to have, I know,
Lori, you
good.
said 100 last time.
I think a lot, I think a lot. But if we go through those, that might be a lot for all of us to do. To try to go through 100, and see, some of them will be easy to rule out.
So that's kind of the issue with having pretty broad example, not even example, just like criteria, because the work Ethan and I are gonna do is just to make sure they meet the basic criteria of, you know, will this affect, you know, a resident in Wichita, or is this a person who's eligible to apply? Is this an entity that's eligible to apply based on whatever you guys put in there? But the rest, everything else, we're not gonna look at really the content of it. That's gonna be up to you guys to score and look at.
That's
So
good.
that is important to know as you're talking about things, and you're talking really broadly, which is, I mean, sustainability is broad, but just something to think about. It won't filter very many applications
Yeah.
unless you put more
If
criteria in there.
if you want to encourage specific areas like your focus areas, it's probably good to note that we can make a note at least that they would be prioritized. And that may help you when you're judging them as well.
Mhm.
I mean, I can look at 100 PDFs, it's fine,
And you should have, I think, about a month or so to do
Right.
so.
that's easy. Bedtime reading.
So, could I propose that, based off this discussion, I could draft just like a version of a rubric and bring it for review of this meeting and possibly approval our next meeting?
Yeah, actually, yeah, that would be great, because otherwise Ethan and I would be drafting it.
Oh,
So if
okay.
you want to take that, that is fantastic.
That's fine.
Yeah, feel free,
Mhm.
if you would just like to send it to me maybe like a week before the meeting to give everyone a chance to take a look at it beforehand, but that would be awesome.
Okay.
And then, yeah, you guys can talk about that and really make any changes that you feel necessary.
Were we wanting to open this up after the first of the year?
I think tentatively we're hoping to open up before the end of the year and have it closed before the end of the year, and then have the meeting to discuss everything in January. So
And
opening,
it's pretty fast.
opening the application, everything, it will be hosted on the city website. And so we're hoping maybe it could open in like November, give maybe a month for people to apply, give you guys December to take a look at, December and January to look at things, and then in the January meeting, have that kind of closed door session to discuss the applicants after you guys are done scoring them.
I guess, Lori, to your concern that it's fast, there is a hypothetical possibility that this funding is rescinded in the interim. And so we could go through all of this just for nothing. So we want to be diligent, but we want to have a time frame, I think.
Yeah, well, yeah.
What's the source of, what's the ultimate source of this grant money?
Yeah, so this
Oh,
isn't
cool.
grant money, it's actually city just funds that SIB
Right.
received. And I'm not sure when they received it, that was before my time, it was originally $100,000. This is kind of what's remaining, it has rolled over. I don't currently anticipate it being taken away, but I was skeptical of it continuing to roll over indefinitely. So that's kind of how we came to starting to use it.
But for the money to go away, the city council would have to affirmatively rescind it.
Problem.
It is,
Yeah.
this is appropriated and deposited money.
Yeah, so I have
Okay.
access to the
We
org,
need to spend it.
we've been using it.
Right, right. I'm just, but you're talking about like the money might go away.
Right.
And I mean, we may not ever get any more, but
Yeah,
this money is probably not gonna go away.
but we still need to spend it soon.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, we still, no, we wanna get this going.
Well, but when you say soon, we're not saying by December 31st, 2025.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
and I will say this is just a tentative timeline. This can change. It's up to you guys to set that timeline. We thought it would be a good idea to try and get, awardees chosen sometime in February, maybe allow them through the end of the year, to have that, to use that funding, but this was just a tentative timeline that we had come up with.
And somebody had to chat.
Originally it was $100,000. It is about $40,000 now. And I believe you guys have had it since 2022.
And part of it was used to hire Ethan.
Yes. And so this is, since he now has a full-time position funded by the city, this is kind of the remaining funds.
And we're gonna do how many grants at what's the maximum amount?
Yes, so it's gonna be 10 grants at $1,000 each for an even $10,000.
And last time we got in 100.
There wasn't a last time.
No, this is the.
Oh,
first time.
okay.
Just saying, I think that we're going to get a lot.
So if you're talking, the funding that CIV originally received that is going to be used to fund these micro grants, that original amount was $100,000. We don't anticipate for CIV to receive any more funding.
So we already put the application together.
No, that's what we're working on now.
Okay. So I'd be curious to take a look at the application because, I teach grant writing classes and do a lot of grant writing myself. And how many applications that we'll get will kind of depend on what's the extent of the application, like how much time do people have to put into it? Because there's so many
Yeah.
people that are lost about grant writing overall, and $1,000, that's not a lot of money to spend hours and hours and hours and hours
Yeah,
to filling out an application. So
Yeah, we anticipate for this to be a really simple application. It's following kind of what Arts does for the arts and culture
okay,
division. So it's basically just gonna be name, email, and then just kind of write a brief description of what your project is.
okay,
So just really basic information, depends on how detailed they go into their project or how much detail we want to demand of them. But the actual application itself is going to be a pretty simple application. We do anticipate people who are applying are individuals for the most part. Maybe they don't have a lot of grant writing experience, and we don't anticipate it being like a federal grant writing
right.
whole thing. Yeah.
Thank
So
goodness.
It's a simple application is the intention, to make it as low
Okay.
barrier as possible.
Okay.
How long would you like the application to be open before we close it?
I mean, at least I think through the month of January, because I feel like during the holiday period, there's just so much going on. Some people might just miss it in the midst of end of year.
Yeah.
So having
Yeah.
January.
I would actually, I would give it like 6 months from the time that, it's open and advertised, so.
So you want a 6-month window where people can apply for it?
Right.
I will say that is kind of long for a grant.
Yeah.
Most federal grants don't even stay open that long.
Okay,
Yep.
so,
And this should be
Federal
even
grants
easier
suck.
to apply
so
to.
3 months,
6 weeks.
6 weeks,
Yeah,
that
that's what I-
short?
Absolutely.
I mean, we were
Especially
just
if you're
we were
talking,
just talking about how like, people might miss it, because of other stuff going on. Do we wanna wait until, January and then open it up for 6 weeks or 2 months in 2026?
Up to you guys. So I think it depends when we get the criteria and everything set on, because as far as our end of putting it up on there, won't take much time. It's just gonna go on our website. We can start advertising it. So that's why I don't anticipate it being very long after we have the criteria set. So it depends when that gets done. you could wait off, because we could have that done, let's say at the end of the month of September. Well, you guys will still be working on it, so maybe it'll be ready to technically post in November. And if you want to wait off to post it until after the holidays, that's up to you guys.
Well, I'm just gonna say, if I was applying for this grant, probably an ideal time to figure it out, that it's out there, is about December 15th, and I'm gonna think, I can do that after the first year. I'll make sure I put that on my calendar and at least have that on my radar and know that I have to have it done by the end of January. I could do that.
And that'll give you time to think about
Yeah.
exactly what
Yes.
you're gonna write.
Yes.
And you
If
can
they-
talk to your family. What do you
Yeah.
think about this? And
Yeah.
so that's how I would prefer this to be offered.
Put out some notice ahead and say this is gonna open up on January 1st or something like that. So that people can be thinking about it ahead of time instead of going, I'm 30 days and I gotta write this real fast. You know, because that way they'll have worked through some of the details.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For me, to kind of just, we can figure out
Cindy says, it's
the-
shaking her head.
timeline, but if you have like, more like you want it to be advertised for a couple weeks before it opens, and then it's going to be open for 6 weeks, for 3 months, and then it's gonna close at this time, and then they have to expend the funds in a year. Those are kind of what I'm wanting to hear from you guys.
I think those people who are writing grants, like I'm writing grants on an ongoing basis, and often, I don't have more than 4 weeks to get around and write a grant from the time I hear about that grant till the time I get that grant submitted. The exception is if I'm working on a federal grant. But a grant like this, it's $1,000 and it's a pretty simple application. I'm probably going to put it on my calendar and get it done in a few days. And because what happens then, you move on to other bigger things as somebody who's writing grants on an ongoing basis. You move into other things, and so just putting on your calendar and getting it done, especially if it's short, it's better to get it out of the way and get it done than kind of just have it hanging out there for a couple of months or 3 months or whatever, where you're more likely to tend to forget about it.
Then we would have a lot more people. We don't want to go through 100 of these. Lori does.
He's
Oh, yes,
volunteering.
I
I
mean,
mean, a lot. Yeah, Van's gonna
But
read them
again,
all.
we want shovel-ready stuff, and so if somebody is not on it to like get it
Yeah,
submitted.
I mean, we will be able to tell pretty quickly whether or not it, matches the rubric
Right.
or not. There'll be I assume there'll be some pretty clear criteria, like, do you have a clear budget of stuff that will be purchased and things that you will do with the stuff? As I said before, I mean, we're not gonna be able to approve grants that are kind of like, we want to begin a study of blah, 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 It's gonna be churches, it's gonna be parks, it's gonna be community groups, it's gonna be neighborhood associations that say, let's get $500 to do X. And I don't think it'll be an enormous amount of work to, go through the
Should be
number
quick.
that come in.
Well, and I'd like to promote through WIN to neighborhood associations, but I can tell you when we do through WIN, the Bloom grants, which are small grants for neighborhood associations to do a project to help improve their neighborhoods. It's like pulling teeth because they're intimidated by the grant application and try to get together a project and think of a project that they can actually do in the neighborhoods. And I'm a little bit surprised about that because I can think of lots of things to do in a neighborhood, but yeah, I'd love to see the neighborhood associations put in some projects, but maybe we as WIN could kind of talk those neighborhood associations up. I know we're going to have a neighborhood university, sorry, on October 4th. So
I mean, after everything I've heard, I definitely agree with Cindy. Like, I don't want to minimize the micro grant project, but for $1,000, I don't see this application being more than a front and back questionnaire, right? Like they should be able to do this and over the course of an hour, maybe two, to fill this out. And speaking from a little bit more experience on another project that we're going to be making an announcement on, we found 67 applicants for a foundation grant project in the course of 30 days. And so granted, there was work on our parts to say, hey, we think you should go apply for that. This is really good for you. And that could be a task for us all to work our networks over the course of 30 days. But I don't think this should be overly bearing to apply for the $1,000. I think we can identify 40 qualified applicants pretty quickly. I still think we should give some parameters around what we'd like to see, but the effort shouldn't be very hard on behalf of these people to ask for this for $1,000.
So for proposed timeline, sounds like what we've talked about is communicate in December. The application goes live
So-
around January 1st.
For how long? How long would you like us before the application opens? Would you like us to start marketing this?
Yes, communications about it 2 to 4 weeks in advance. What do you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so.
Then it actually opens up January 1st.
For how long?
It sounds like there's anywhere from 4 weeks to 6 weeks that we've been talking about is
I think 6 weeks is fine.
6 weeks.
Yeah.
So through mid-February, it's open. So that means we can start reviewing in the February SIT meeting. Probably, right?
I mean, that sounds reasonable.
Okay, and
Yeah.
you guys get a month to review?
Yeah, so we decide in March, is that what you're saying, or?
We can work on like what the exact timeline is, but.
It wouldn't have to line up with the SID meeting
Yeah.
necessarily.
Okay.
true.
That's true. It
Yeah.
just has to be a closed session meeting for us to discuss our scores.
Yeah,
Well,
but I'm
and-
more looking at like, yeah, so you guys would like a month to review those applications.
For springtime needs, we
Right.
need to get that decided early.
Mhm.
So we would want to maybe have, by the end of Q1, we would have decided who's getting the grants by the end of
That
March
for sure,
Yeah.
not
And then-
before.
Mhm.
or before. And then do we want them to have used the grant money by the end of 2026? That gives them 9 months. Is that enough?
I think so.
Yes.
It
Yes.
should be.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a 2026.
Yep.
It starts and it's done in 2026.
Yeah.
Which I think is great. I think it makes
Mhm.
sense.
Cool, I can work with that.
And if I remember right, we also said we would like some kind of feedback from who gets the grants.
Yep, so
Okay.
when we're drafting that criteria,
Okay.
everything is one of the requirements of the grant, we will put that they have to attend at least one SID meeting, whether it be while they're during that 2026 period, or it has to be just 90 days, within 90 days of the like final receipts, basically. So if they want to come at the end when the project is finalized, or if they want to come, while it's happening, up to them.
That'll be the best part for me.
We'll have this
see what
SID
they
meeting
do.
at the project.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay, awesome. So Dylan, we'll get some information from you and I'll share that with the board. I'll get started on some of this other timeline stuff, putting together what an application will look like, as far as what the city goes. And then I'll put this on the agenda for the September meeting as well.
Perfect.
Oh, yes, I'm so sorry. Thank you for that reminder. All right, is there any public comment on this item before we move on to the next discussion item?
How are you guys monitoring progress?
Yeah, so progress will be monitored through the city staff. So after we send agreements, we disperse funding, we'll conduct tracking, we'll review receipts of expenditures, and then awardees will also be required to send a final report to outline their experience and outcomes.
And will this be a yearly thing so people can like reapply, or is this currently just set for 26?
So for 2026, we only have funding for this to be a one-time thing. This is definitely something that if we find successful, we can maybe ask city council for more money to continue, but as of right now, it's one-time funding. Right. Any other public comment before I move on? All right, okay, so going on to educational materials, do you want to start off with the wheels or do you want to start off with the brochures?
Well, I'll do the wheels at the same time as the brochures, because I've got physical copies of the wheel. So the one on top is just a rough, it'll be put together more similar to the one below it, which is the original design, but given that the company that made the originals no longer exists, we had to work around with some of our contractors to figure out the closest they could do. Oh, you don't have to leave them attached.
I mean, I
Yeah,
kind
the
of want to.
thumbtack, that was just, yeah, for me to hold them all, but we're carrying over pretty much all the same content, adding a QR code. And then there's content on the backside as well, of the,
So cool.
so,
On the back.
That's why
Oh,
they're
yeah, so that's where the
So come
steps are
apart.
for composting,
Oh,
along with a list of materials that you should and materials that you shouldn't put in.
Oh, I really like that.
And
I like keep the sharp object away.
It does.
Oh, yes.
we are
It's the
required
sharp.
to place a minimum order of 500. So the good news is that this content does not need updated. So 500 of them should be fine to then continue on for years, as we did with the first order from the 90s.
Yes.
That
Seems
they
very
sat in
90s,
boxes
doesn't it?
for a while, and I decided that we could use them.
Nice.
and then, okay, so it's not, it'll not be quite as stiff maybe, or is this?
That's not the same. It'll be
Except
closer to
it's
the material of the original. Yeah, we'll switch to a thicker material. I'm looking at, they just call it shiny. There's a matte and there's a shiny. I chose the shiny.
It's
I
like
think
Shiny's not plastic coated.
I could not tell you what the material is for sure, but
It's made of PFAS.
This is what I'm saying.
I'm glad that the
This is like
writing,
shiny.
writing is
Yeah, it's
easier
like
to
every-
read than this. That
That's
writing,
teeny tiny.
yeah,
Yeah,
we did
that
need a
writing's much
update. I
better.
did cut out some of the, if it got overwhelming, I cut some of the content, but
good. Well, QR code can,
the
Work on that.
modern design feel and
Right.
Wichita colors. So then, along with some compost wheels, we'll be ordering, and they should get here in time for our open streets event at least. It does take about a month, but I was able to get those ordered. We're also I put together some brochures that I have not ordered yet because I wanted to get your all's feedback on these. One is Wichita Sustainability 101, and then the other is more specifically about the Sustainability Board. This one covers, highlights open streets, and covers some of the main topics that we covered in our community resilience plan.
So, are we
Yeah,
accepting input?
feedback is great.
Okay, feedback is great, okay. Water, you could also include the new permanent outdoor watering restrictions.
That would be a good idea.
I did write this before those were passed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't even think to include them.
Mhm.
I'll pull up the other one too, so-
And yes, we've had requests before for a SIB brochure, so. Oh, wrong one.
Yeah.
So I put together
wonder who
one
did
that kind of highlights.
Who demanded a sip brochure?
There you
Was
go.
it Lori?
Rolls.
Did it again?
Really?
Oh, I thought you clicked the right one that time.
Oh,
Okay, well, there it is.
Hmm.
Highlighting, the Sustainability Board's work. I took that graphic from the YouTube page, so I'm not in love with the green necessarily, but it's what it is right now.
well, and I wish that the front page didn't have the same picture.
Which one?
That would be the front of the
Oh.
brochure. I wish it didn't have the same.
Do you have a picture?
Can we do
I'm
the,
just saying,
Oh,
oh,
you don't know the difference.
Can-
Oh, you don't.
you're
we do
gonna
the-
easily get confused about which one you're
can we
grabbing.
do the water center instead of City Hall? Cause it's
Oh, on the
like,
backside?
Hmm?
Not for the backside of this one?
yeah. Cause
If I
mean,
have a
it's-
picture of it.
Right.
I have a limited.
I mean, it's-
Selection sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, if it, yeah,
Well, there's
it
quite
sometimes
a
looks
few.
pretty hard for wear recently, but maybe there's some older pictures that are prettier.
No,
That
I took a
probably would be
picture of the little thing outside that's the water droplet and all lit up, and it was a pretty cute picture.
If you'll send it to me with your permission to use.
Okay,
I'm not
I'll send it
opposed.
to you.
I mean, I had pictures of Antonio in front of that, but had to like edit out a
Neighborhood
kid,
child.
right?
Will
Random
be the-
child.
Will be the caption.
It was a Wichitan, right? Counts.
But yeah, I think like with different pictures, that's a really good
Yeah.
idea for the front and the back. Like maybe the keeper or something, I don't know, but
Yeah, I might have one of the keeper at least.
Oh, I'm sure. You probably have tons of keeper pictures.
just
It's
something.
less than you'd think. We don't take a lot of photos.
The keeper
necessarily.
belongs to the city though, doesn't it?
I think it
Kind of.
belongs still
That's a good
to
question.
I know.
Is it-
foundation. You have to.
Does someone, do we actually, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a
Can
good
you use
question.
it?
A photo of it?
I
If
don't
we took
know.
the photo,
Right, it's public art.
and we're not.
Right,
like,
it's public art,
selling.
so that's why I'm just wondering if maybe
You
they
still
a
have to,
picture
you
could
still
use
have to
whoever
do
is in
some
charge
sort of application
It's
for it.
true.
To use it
Yes,
in the city of Wichita, Roger?
I don't know about that.
The
Who-
picture, if you like replicate the keeper, you do have to pay like a licensing fee or something like that. I don't exactly know what it is.
Yeah.
And I don't know who owns it or who that gets paid to, but to just take a picture of it and use that picture, no.
Let's see, what's the second coolest public art in Wichita?
With the elimination of the Diversity, Inclusion and Civil Rights Advisory Board, does this language need to be updated?
So the board is not eliminated. It is currently just suspended. It has not been disbanded. So as of right now, they are still legally in ordinance, they are a board.
Okay, so the city ordinance creating that board has not been changed.
No, they were
Okay.
just officially, word is suspended.
Suspended, okay,
So technically,
so
yeah,
we can keep that.
we can have our
Mhm.
member from the die crab.
Right.
Oh, yeah, you weren't here yet, but we did say that Jessica can still.
Yes,
Okay, all
sorry.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's, yeah, interesting.
On the board projects, could we put something in what we're doing now? Just, I know there's not a lot of lines there.
Yeah, with, would you want to include some about then the micro grants and?
Yeah,
I think
Yeah,
they
I
were doing
like
the four, or I guess one of them's this, but they were doing the three other.
The projects,
Projects.
yeah, the three other projects too.
Right, the
We
stuff
can
that
fit
that
it
we're
in.
actually.
Yeah, we don't even have, yeah, I mean, we could just like not include the micro grants because it's still kind of out there, but the other three are approved and we're gonna go forward with them, right? So yeah,
Yeah, I mean, money is already being spent on educational materials.
nice. Wheels.
There's a lot of boxes of composting,
It's,
they're like, some of them are bins, some of them are for outdoor use, but they're just in my office right now, so.
can we,
it's-
is
I'm
it
trying to
possible to
bunch
come
of
see your office?
compost bins
I wanna
in
see
your
Ethan just like
Within
covered
boxes,
in composting
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, they're all sitting on the side right now, cause we're gonna start
How
giving
big
this
is
away.
your office?
Well, these are condensed boxes, they take up half the office, but bigger than you'd expect, maybe.
I mean, I don't have an office.
It's an office with a window.
It's an actual
Yeah.
office.
Office with a window.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
I have a cubicle with 2 walls. I've been in Spirit almost
Are the
20
compost
years.
boxes piled up to block the window?
Not yet, they're taking up one full part we use to move things around, but.
Is there still, after the compost bins, the wheels and brochures, is there still funding left for more or later, or what's the thought
Mm.
there?
How much of the education part have we spent with these projects, with, this stuff?
Including the wheels, I wanna say about half, but once we're. Yeah, that should be about half, maybe a little more, including the weatherization kits as well.
What was the biggest chunk?
And it's actually pretty evenly spaced between those three. I have to remember with the wheels, but it was around 2,500 for the weatherization kits, and then about the same for the 2 types of compost.
We were able to get 50 of the weatherization kits?
No, it's gonna be 200.
Good,
Oh, okay,
good.
wow.
Yeah, the bulk order, you get a discount, so.
okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and we still had some money spaced out to help with like the marketing for the micro grants and a few other things that I think we had outlined.
Oh, yeah.
The
that'll-
advertising money,
Yes,
yeah.
the advertising. But that was kind of part of the conversation, if there was anything other materials that you would like to see, educational materials. that maybe we can start drafting or taking a look at. As far as if it's like brochures and stuff, it's gonna be pretty cheap to print, so it won't take up a huge part of the budget. So if there is some kind of educational material that you guys think is missing or that you want the public to get more information on, kind of now is that time to
Okay.
let us know.
So I know Kansas and Wichita, we don't have required smog testing for vehicles. But there's probably a subset of Wichitans who don't necessarily fully understand the negative impacts of a poorly running vehicle or poorly running lawnmower on the environment and the air we breathe. Is that something that is communicatable? Is, you know, is
I mean,
that educational?
you know, I mean, to the extent that, you know, making brochures and creating other sorts of learning materials, you know, is, you know, an effective, you know, means of education. I don't think there's any reason why we couldn't try to expand it in that direction.
So I do know previously, I think this kind of goes to air quality. Previously, we used to give out tire pressure gauges and we used to do a lot more marketing as far as like when to gas up your vehicle, when would be more efficient. We could look at maybe doing another type of thing for that, for like maintenance of what you can do to reduce, I guess, your air quality emissions and then help also your vehicle run more efficiency. I think that's something that could appeal to people.
Well, even like, I mean, cause I just Googled it to confirm some numbers, but running just a regular gas powered push mower for 1 hour is the equivalent emissions of driving your car 100 to 300 miles. So I mean, like
They're not very
lawnmowers,
They're horrible.
Yeah,
yeah,
they're
because they don't have any like of the emission systems that automobiles do
I know,
nowadays.
yeah.
And so
Right.
I think just even getting people aware of like, you wouldn't think a little lawnmower, but actually if you move to a more efficient means.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's
Well,
just,
that was kind of the whole point before the lawn care rebate program. I'm hoping that if we do get EPA funding, that's something we can do this year, but that was the kind of messaging we would put
Yeah.
out, just to
Yeah.
say it's not very efficient. It does, take a lot of gas and like creates a lot of emissions and
And who wants to go to Quick Trip and fill up a gas can and bring it back home
Covered,
when all you have to
smelly,
do is
everything.
charge your battery?
Well, there was an EPA action recently that made gas cans supposedly easier to pour. This was an email update I got from them, so you could look into what the EPA has done to make gasoline more accessible. In the
Easier.
Oh, yeah, that's
yeah.
what they're trying to do. Yeah,
Oh,
right.
yeah.
They're trying
Yeah.
to change things to do that now. Yeah.
I swear I spill more with those special.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane.
Yeah.
Nobody likes doing it. I don't care how easy they make it. Nobody likes doing it.
Kiddo and I drove across town coming here, and the entire way we were driving across town, we were following some vehicle that was clearly spilling unburnt fuel out the back end. Because the
Ugh.
whole way it smelled like a lawnmower.
Mm.
I could definitely look into doing kind of more of an air quality and more be air aware stuff that targets that kind of thing, for sure.
And
Yeah,
maybe you
we're
can partner
waste.
with like the Sedgwick County hazardous waste, and because you get every time you drop something off there, they hand you a hazardous waste recycling guide. It's like,
Well, but the place you really put the stuff for like lawnmowers is gonna be, it's gonna be like, you know, AutoZone. It's gonna be,
yeah,
you know, garages that do repairs. I mean,
True.
it's gonna be Walmarts. It's, you know, that's the place we actually wanna put that kind of material, I would
Yeah.
think, so.
What did you do with them that were turned in? The ones that were turned in that
For
people
the lawn care
replaced?
rebate program,
Mhm.
they were recycled, so you had to recycle the old
But
equipment
where did they go?
to ABC Recycling and one other one that I can't remember now. We partnered with them, so they would give out the coupon to let us know specifically that this was the item that was recycled, and they would have to submit that coupon with your application.
That's why we couldn't use the coupon, because we're utterly, you know, and sleazily cheap. And we have an electric mower, and we had bought an electric mower, and so we were gonna, ex post facto, get the rebate. But we no longer had our gas mower, and in order to use the rebate, you had to turn in the
Turn it
gas
in.
mower to get the,
Yeah,
get the rebate.
yeah,
We had given away the gas mower, so.
yeah.
we did briefly contemplate going and trying to get our gas mower back. So that make use of the rebate, like, promise the guys, we'll split the rebate with you.
It was good, it's $100 rebate, it was a good rebate.
Anyway,
Um,
Yeah, I think the AirAware would be really good, like
Yeah.
alongside the air sensors and like just all of that, just. That could be a really interesting campaign of its own, just why we're getting air quality sensors and different types of air pollutants. It's not just, you know, dust and.
Yeah.
others.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay, anything else as far as educational materials? Just letting you guys know we have about 20 minutes and we do have one more item.
Mhm.
Okay, awesome. Any public comment on this item before I move on?
Anything the public would like to see?
Oh,
Are we discussing the right things?
Oh, Brett. Okay, and now we will have someone from a volunteer from Bike Walk Wichita talk about walkability in Wichita.
Hi, everybody. My name is Rami Stucky, and I'm with Bike Walk Wichita. I haven't prepared something, but I imagine I'm preaching to the choir, so I'll kind of keep it short.
If you'd like to come to the table just so the microphone's can
Oh,
hear
yeah,
you.
sorry.
what's your name again?
Rami Stucky.
Oh, that's, hi,
Howdy.
we're publishing your stuff, or
Yeah.
like I can, yeah, I had the whole conversation about your stuff.
Yeah, I'm here just to promote it. I'm writing a article series with Bike Walk Wichita, and it gets published every Wednesday. So one got published today. It's on Bike Walk Wichita's website, which is bikewalkwichita.org. And there's also, we're putting it on a more accessible blog, which is Bike Walk ICT. But in either case, if you go to the social media, you'll be able to find really accessible links. These articles talk about walkability in Wichita through the lens of an urban planner named Jeff Speck, who came to the Wave in March as part of downtown Wichita's action plan kickoff. And he has a book called 101 Steps to Making Cities a Better Place. And so what we do in the article series is we take each one of those steps basically and talk about how they could be applied or already are applied to Wichita. The steps range from everything from converting one-ways to two-ways, removing front-facing parking, changing zoning codes to removing the single-use zoning, keeping high schools and schools in neighborhoods as opposed to outsourcing them, et cetera, et cetera. And so each one of them talks about it. I use a lot of data analysis, tax assessments, density counts, census numbers. So it's kind of data rich. Crash accident counts from KDOT are particularly important for us. It's also a historical study. I'm a historian by trade for my sins. And I go to a lot of DAB meetings, and one of the things that I find frustrating that I'll share with like-minded people is the amount of times people say, this is not the way Wichita was designed. We want to ride the queue more, but this is not the way Wichita was designed. We want to have more bike paths, but this is not the way Wichita was designed. And the deliberate use of passive voice, I think, is telling in the eye of many first grade teachers. And so what I want to do in the article series is show the process by which I live in District 1, the Dillons at Douglas and Hillside, the process by which developers and board members and city councilors demolished the entire strip on the north side of Douglas and the south side of Douglas to make way for a massive parking lot and then much smaller grocery store by square foot area. And so a lot of it is talking about the processes and the history behind the built design of our city. So I encourage you all to check it out.
It's really good stuff.
I can
It's
leave my,
excellent stuff.
thank you. I can leave my name and email and phone number, because what we want to do at Bike Walk Wichita is really not make these prescriptive ideas, but really have a discussion, and you kind of see some of that discussion on the social media. One of the things Jeff Speck advocates for and I write about is angled parking in Delano, which he advocates for, but many cyclists don't necessarily appreciate, and so those are the type of engagements we like to see. Thank you all very much for your time.
I sat through a talk about the angled parking, and the discussion was not the angled parking that we're thinking it is. Right? Is that what he's suggesting? Because getting in and out and backing in and out is a problem, and that might give you a lot of blind spots for bicycles, but it was more like you were going to back in to them.
So there's a couple of ways you can, I'm not privy to the conversation you're referencing, but there's a couple of ways you can have angled parking. The most typical is the way that it is in Delano, where you drive in face first, as it were.
Yeah,
There's other ways which cyclists like a bit more, which is where you have to back in.
that's what I mean, yeah.
Once again, if you check out the Bike Walk Wichita Facebook page in particular, a lot of cyclists are advocating for angled parking, provided that it's back in and not like how we have in Delano or on St. Francis. Fair point. Angled parking, whichever way you do it in general, is good, because compared to parallel parking, it takes up more of the right of way, which prevents people from speeding. And it allows more parking to occur, which in Delano allows more people to visit the businesses, which kind of generates commerce and kind of has this walkability and commercial.
Especially now that they can walkability with a drink in their hand.
Yeah, that's probably going to be the second or one of the next articles I explore is, obviously one of the ideas is having a pedestrian mall, and one of the 101, and I think Delano is probably the best place to put one. Whether or not it's a good idea is up for debate, but yeah.
No.
Is there anything specifically that we can do to help or advocate for?
Yes, the city of Wichita had just released the application to be a part of the new zoning steering committee, so we have the zoning code, and there's a lot of, the article for today is about the history of why we have zoning in Wichita. And there's a lot of understandable reasons why you want zoning, right? And you can read about it in the article. But one of the many drawbacks is that we have mandated parking for any new development. You have parking minimums, basically. And so one of the things I've done already is submitted an application to be on the board. I encourage everybody to submit an application to be on the board, because I think it'd be awesome if we removed parking minimums from our zoning code, so that if you create a development out in wherever, that decision on how much parking you want is up to the developer and not mandated by the city. Because when it's mandated by the city, you have a situation like you see all the time, which is a massive parking lot with
Yeah.
very few cars on the
County,
spot.
Town West.
Town East, Town West. I mean, even within the city, it's one of the reasons. I live at Douglas and Hillside and Uptown Landing, and to get to that Dillon's, I traverse more parking lot than I do the rest of the walk,
Yeah.
and it's right across the street.
Yeah.
And so it affects anything from a suburban development to an internal one. So I would say that's primarily the most concrete thing. What's exciting about changing the zoning code is it doesn't cost the city any money, and it'll do a world of difference.
A lot of that zoning is really outdated.
Certainly.
A lot of it, I mean, I see it all the time too, so, yeah.
Yeah.
That's an idea. Is it up on the website to?
I
apply for
saw
that?
it. Yes, that is exactly it. And so you'll click that and it'll give you the,
So there's
the-
rural
Oh,
line.
so
link.
okay.
And each post is prefaced by rule, something in big capital letters. That's how you know it's the article series and not
So
some other
you're
bike
clear,
walk, which
you're clear up to rule 9. I've missed 1 through 8, huh?
I do not do them in order.
Oh, okay.
I do them in order of topic that I can write about,
Okay,
Mm.
that I can think of.
good. I would have been looking for
Doing
1
this
to
for
8.
About 2 months now.
Yeah, so we have about 10.
Yeah.
So 2.5 months, basically. And yeah, the next one's gonna be about Dr. Glenn Day Park.
Di. It's
Excuse
pronounced
me.
Di.
Dr. Glenn Day Park.
I knew him.
Oh, yeah, and the problems with the proposed big football activity center.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Where you find exactly the application to serve on the steering committee for the zoning board, I'm not sure. I saw it on,
Would it still be under boards like ours is?
Mm,
Would it still be
is it
there?
It's not an advisory board.
Yeah.
Alan
I
Taylor.
have it, I can send it out because it went
Yeah.
to all the planning commissioners.
Right.
Oh,
Okay,
you.
send it to
please-
Lizette so
please
she can
do.
forward it.
Yeah, Cindy, if you send that to me, I can forward it to the board.
Yep, I can do that.
Planning commissioners,
Love the board.
seems like a.
Oh, no, that, they would need to see it. I mean,
Applications are
that'd be the
due-
whole thing.
September 8th.
For this?
Wow.
For what?
For this board.
Steering committee.
For the zoning, oh, great, okay.
It's
Steering committee.
it's another 1 to 2 hour commitment to answer the questions. Why do you want to be on the board? What outlook could you bring?
Providing a resume.
Provide a resume, exactly. Awesome, thank y'all.
Yeah,
Thank you.
are there any
Thank you.
questions from the public?
Were you at the bike ped meeting?
Not the last one.
Okay, you missed that argument.
Yeah. I unfortunately,
Yeah.
sounded fun.
Well, thank you so
I
much.
know, I know we've met before. I'm sorry I didn't.
No, that's it.
All right, the last item is public comment, so this would be 5 minutes for anyone in the public to talk about any matter that they would like to discuss. Would anyone like to participate in public comment?
I would.
Lori, you're a board member, this is for
Well,
public comment.
But because you've heard Russell and I talking already about Sunday,
Mhm.
which is September 21st. We can organize something here. It's put on by Third Act, which is an organization of people 60 and over. But the only thing that I know about is in Winfield, but it could be done here. I'm looking
There's-
at somebody who
there's
might
a-
be over 60.
I think there's stuff happening up in Kansas City. I'm sure if there's only, I'm sure there's multiple people and multiple organizations, not just Third Act, but behind it. It's all about trying to promote awareness of the incredible innovations in solar energy technology, batteries, solar panels over the last few years. The immense developments in terms of their affordability. And basically trying to push their use and yeah, so there's an
Yeah.
event going on down in Winfield.
Yeah.
And I'm probably gonna go down with some students and it would, there's a website that I sent Lori about. I could send it out to, I could send it to you, Lizette, and you could send it to the whole
Yeah.
board.
I also neglected to bring any flyers, but September 20th, the day before, is Drive Electric in Wichita. It's sponsored by Drive Electric ICT. It'll be from 10 to 1. And we're going to be meeting on the WSU Innovation Campus. So be looking out for information on that. I can send you some more details on it, Lizette, if you can send that out. So please join us. You don't have to have an EV to come. Come and look and ask questions. I mean, we've got like 20 cars already signed up and it goes everything from a Cadillac to a Bolt. We got everything. So plan to come. Sorry, I'm not the chair. Russell.
Yeah.
Carla wants to say something.
We got-
In your email, you were saying that you're about to term out,
I think my term is ending this year, next year.
Oh.
What was it? Because we were just talking about that like a month ago.
my question is, is the criteria for, membership on the board still that you have to be a member of another board?
Not entirely.
Okay,
Half of our members are members of another board. Half of them are appointed by city council and the mayor. So, because I'm Brandon Johnson's appointment.
yeah, I know, because I had applied, and I live in, I'm back in District One, you know. But you were talking about the solar panels and batteries and all that. Right now, I'm experimenting with, I've got, a 12-24 volt solar panel with, a 12 volt battery, 50 amps that I'm experimenting. Right now, I think my inverter needs to be upgraded because it drains my battery. And I'm not, but I'm experimenting with that. So I was wondering if that would be like kind of something that I could apply, you know, this grant for.
I think it has to go for not just you.
Well,
It has to be usable by others too.
I have a nonprofit, the Leonard Garrett Renaissance Institute, and that's what I'm dedicated to. And what I really want to do is construct a solar powered greenhouse in District One to address the food desert over in the 67214 zip code. That's been something that I've been wanting to do for the past few years. And it wouldn't just be a community garden, but it would be an ongoing greenhouse where people could, you know, purchase within the community fresh produce.
I think that absolutely would be a great project, and if you could put together, you know, a proposal that would fit everything that we'll be talking about, I think that that would be you know, a great one to put forward.
My institute's been in existence for quite a while, but I don't have a 501c3.
You don't have to.
Yeah, and I've been trying to piggyback with some organization. At one time I did belong to WIN, you know, so that I can have, be under somebody's umbrella. Because, over there's an opportunity zone and my ultimate goal is to build, a self-contained, prefab solar house, you know, with a small footprint that, because I'm constantly kicked off Evergy, you know, being a poor person. People are like, it's impossible to live off the grid. I live off the grid most of the time. And as far as affordable housing, if there was, and it's been done in other parts of the country, if your house is self-contained, you know, I've been studying about thermal heating and cooling, where, you know, that can be done. There's the, I've been studying about Glover's salt and all that, but just to make a long story short, really, that's the goal of mine, you know, is to build a model. And there is, in the opportunity zone, which Agent Orange, these were established during its first term. But anyway, that's my ultimate goal, is to build like an 850 square foot self-contained house where it's producing its own energy. But I wanted to know, you know, about District One because I am in District One. Because when it was first formed, it was like integrated sustainability integrated board.
It is still. It is still. That's why there's 7 and 7. What, 7 boards on this board, and then just 7 appointees from the council and the mayor. So, yeah, you could apply for District 1, you could apply with the mayor. You can go ahead and apply and then you guys hold it, right? So
Yeah,
you could go
applications
ahead
are
and
still
apply,
open. But we only have, as of right now, District 2 and District 6 open.
yeah,
Mhm.
but then your application would be in.
Or you could apply to any one of the other boards as District One's appointee. So like I'm District One's appointee to the Transit Advisory Board and
Oh,
then sit
you
on this
are?
board. Yeah,
Because, okay.
yeah,
'Cause I'm also a transit rider.
yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Were there any other public comment? I know we're gonna get kicked out of the library here pretty soon.
yeah, it's gonna go off in any second.
So I don't have any public comment, but, and I can't see who that the woman is that's talking. But I'd love to connect with you because I could, Urban League resides in 67214. We did a lot of work in this community. I also can connect you with fiscal sponsorship if that's something that you're interested in doing for doing your project. So I'm more than happy to have Liz give you my contact information if you'd like to get in touch, or maybe we've been in touch. I don't know. I work with a lot of nonprofits, so.
No, I haven't been in touch recently, but, I've been knowing Lori through SOAR. I met
Yeah.
her, several years ago. And, I was pretty active with SOAR. But, when I formed my institute way back in, 2002, it was all about plastic waste.
Your
Yeah.
attention, please. The library will close in 15 minutes.
But
If you have books or other items to check out, staff are available near the self-check stations to assist. Please save all documents and complete all printing at this time. Thank you for visiting the Wichita Public Library.
Now it's done.
Okay, Cindy, I can share your email information if you're okay with that.
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay, perfect.
I would do it if I was there. Sorry.
Okay.
Would you like to adjourn the meeting? Russell?
We're gonna adjourn the meeting now.
Adios.
Okay.
Aye.
Try to show up on the 2nd if you have the time. Who knows when our grant
Okay.
discussion will take place, but it will take place on the 2nd.